Going live. Hey there. So this is Jen DeTracy, and today we're going to talk about letting MS take you over or taking over MS. Yeah. This is the thing, right? This is the challenge that we have in life. Now, if that makes you feel activated, I'll explain to you what I mean by letting MS take over you versus taking over MS in a moment. So I'm Jen DeTracy, and this is the Women Thriving with MS Facebook channel. If you haven't already, press that like below. And today I'm going to be talking about the weTHRIVE membership at the end of this video today. So let me tell you that when you are thinking about MS, we know that in the beginning when you're diagnosed, for most of you, I can say this for myself. I'm just going to move over here a little bit, actually. Move over here just a little bit. So you can see Gertrude in the background, my lovely Gertrude, and my bookshelf, which is just a bit of a mess. But that's how it is, right? Life is messy when you live with MS. Okay, so we're going to talk about choice. Now, here's the thing about choice is that we might feel that we don't have a lot of, you might feel like you don't have a lot of choice with MS in some ways because there's things that you don't have control over, right? And that's true. There's lots in our life that we don't have control over. We had lots that we didn't have control over in our life before MS. And then when MS came and knocked at the door and said, I'm coming in whether you like it or not, I'm the unwanted visitor. It's like, then there's lots of things we don't have control over in that way too. So that's how it is. That's how life is. And what I want to do is I want to share a personal story with you. And then I'm going to walk you through 3 key steps that I did in order to take more control of my life. And this happened at a very pivotal juncture. So what happened was I had at the time, because I was living in Vancouver, Canada, I had a neurologist that I loved. She was amazing. And I always felt very, very happy to have her as my guide. And the reason for that was because I trusted her. I trusted her big time. Just going to move that over. All right, time for a sip of water. When you trust your neurologist, it can certainly make a big difference. So anyhow, so I had been seeing her for, I think at that point, it was like 5 years. 5 years. And I get to my appointment and, it takes me about half an hour to get to the appointment. Then I've got to park because it's at a big hospital. And then I've got to get to the actual place. And then I have to sit and wait because my neurologist is always late. I wait maybe even an hour. So now you're looking at probably 2 hours before I get to see my neurologist. And you probably know where I'm going with this because if you live with fatigue like I do, and you wake up with fatigue in the morning and you go to bed with the fatigue, that can be a big deal, right? To go on one of these adventures to go see your neurologist. And especially if you have to drive a long distance to go see, that can be the case too. So anyway, I get there and we're having conversation and we're going through all the regular standards questions and the, checking my body and all that. And then Dr. Seo says to me, we have an energy management group here at the hospital. Would you like to be a part of it? I know that you're dealing with fatigue and I thought this might be great for you. And I said, oh, it's at the hospital. She said, yeah. And I said, well, what time of day is that? And she said, well, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, 2 to 4. And I'm thinking in my head, this is in my own little bubble, you got to be kidding. You got to be kidding because that's the worst time of the day for me. I'm at the lowest. And you want me to go to an energy management workshop that's like 2 hours in the afternoon. That's going to take me at least half an hour to get there, half an hour to get home, half an hour to get in and out of the hospital, and 2 hours, that's gonna be like my whole day, and I'm not gonna feel energized at the end of it. I'm going to feel crushed. So I was really angry. And it's funny because my neurologist saw the anger in me and my angst around it, and she was shocked, who took away this lovely patient of mine and replaced her with a monster. So I was very angry. In fact, when I left there, I wanted to get on the phone and call this. I think it was a physiotherapist or maybe an occupational therapist, actually. I wanted to get on the phone and just like yell at her, which is not my nature to get on the phone and just yell at somebody. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to like chew her out. How could you think of doing something like this in the afternoon, when people live with fatigue, going all the way to the hospital? Like, why can't it just be online? And why can't it just be for an hour? And why can't it just be the way I want it to be? So I was driving home thinking about how angry I was. And I was still so lit up with anger when I got home. And I went and I laid down for my afternoon nap. I rest every single afternoon that I can, 99% of the time, so that I'm not a monster later in the day, which makes a big difference to enjoying my quality of life. And I was laying in bed and I was so angry. I could not initially calm my system. Have you ever felt that way before? Whether it be anger or frustration or grief or whatever that is, it's just your system is so activated, right? Boom, so activated. And so there I was, and I'm laying in bed, and I said to myself, okay, I'm just going to allow this anger to be there, right? I'm just going to allow it. So, for me, the first step in that process was identifying, okay, I'm really angry and I'm going to just be with that anger. I'm not going to push it away. I'm going to invite it in and I'm going to sit with it. It's like, me and the anger sitting together, hanging out, but I'm laying down in bed. And as I was connecting with that anger, I started crying. I had like this big sob, floodgates open, just letting it go, this anger. Not because I was wanting to let it go. I actually felt super, super angry and I kind of wanted to hold on to it. But when I invited the anger in to me and allowed it to be there, then I was able just to sit with it. And that's when the tears came. And that was such a pivotal moment because what happened next was that I realized I had that epiphany. What was underneath that anger, right? The block, that I was up against. And it was this. It was that I realized that I felt I was a victim. I was a victim. I'll just say it like that. I was in a place of victimhood about my life with MS, and I recognized that. And as soon as I recognized that, that was like, it's almost like this weight was lifted off of my shoulders, my body, when I was able to identify that anger was here. But what was underneath it was I felt like a victim. And here's the key. The key. I wanted somebody to save me. I wanted someone to save me so that I didn't have to face this place of anger and powerlessness in my life that I felt at the time. Wow, it was like that. And so once I was able to unlock the block that I had, so going from the anger to literally rage to tears and allowing those feelings in, and then realizing what the block was, which was that place of suffering, that place of victimhood that I felt. And from there, once I was able to tap into that, it was like, wow, The weight was lifted off my shoulders, and then what happened is I had clarity, and I felt empowered, actually. I felt empowered because I had clarity about, now that I knew what the problem was that I was expecting someone to save me from my misery. My misery of worries around financial, my misery around my energy, my worry around my future life, so many things. And then I was able to identify this. I was able to say, okay, what action am I going to take? What action can I take now that I know that no one's going to save me? So I don't need to be a victim because no one's going to save me. I need to, in some way, surrender to the situation that I'm in currently. And that's not a placid thing, right? That's not being placid. That's not like saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything. It's about taking action. So what I did was I decided, at this point in time, I had an opportunity to apply for grant money in order to give me funds to pay for a couple months of living expenses. And I thought, well, I don't have a guarantee that I'm going to get the money, but I think I have a good chance because I've got a good story, right? I've got a good story, going from my peak of my career to like falling down, and all of a sudden, MS and all this stuff. And now I have an opportunity to apply for this money. So I did that. And that's the difference, right? Is that I was able to move from this place of huge upset and emotion, and then get underneath that emotion by welcoming it in, and then be able to, in that place, identify what the real block was, and then to be able to take an action. So I got up out of bed, I went to my computer, I opened up the application, and I started to fill it out right away. And I sent it off. And you know what was amazing? I knew some of the people in the community that are offering the application. I received an email within a day from someone acknowledging that they had received the application and that they were going to be passing it on. And within a short period of time, I don't know, it was like less than a week, I was contacted by somebody who was really ultimately the decision maker. They had to run it by a bunch of other people to vote on it, and it was approved, right? And that was just really it showed me that I was not going to let MS take me over. I wasn't going to let it control the way I think and how I operate, right? The penthouse suite up here. And that I was going to take over MS in terms of taking back control of my life in the ways that I could. And it really all starts with that. So just a recommendation for you to consider in this is, if you have a really big feeling coming up, whether it is anger or grief or sadness or frustration or disappointment or discouragement, whatever those might be for you, whatever that big feeling is, when you can welcome it in with all its messiness, with all of its vulnerability, everything that's there, and just allow it to be there. And if you need to punch pillows or sob or, whatever that might be for you, right? How you process your feelings, but just let it be there and welcome it in like a big wave splashing you in the face. And then ask yourself the question, what's underneath that feeling? What's underneath that grief? What's underneath that anger? What's underneath that disappointment? Whatever it is, and see what answer comes to you. Again, for me, it was that I felt I was suffering. I felt that I was the victim and I wanted to be saved. So what is that for you? What is that block? Because once you can get under that block, it's just freedom. It's freedom, because then you can make choices on what action you can take. Maybe that action for you, if that feeling is discouragement or frustration, is that you realize underneath that is that there's something that you wanted to do that you just haven't been able to. And then there's that sadness that comes with that and that loss. And then once you notice that, you can say, well, you know, okay, so I've got this loss here. It's real for me. I feel sadness about it. And what action can you take? Well, maybe it's just something that you want to do that you haven't done yet, that you know is in some way going to help you live your life better with MS. And something small, right? Doesn't have to be something big. In fact, the smaller the action is, the better, because you're more likely to do it, right? For me, I just got out of bed and I just made it happen because I had that clarity. And I think that's a big piece. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because you have choice in your life, right? It might not feel that way when you live with MS, especially um, when you are struggling. And I've been living with MS for over 10 years now. As I say, I have over 10 years of MS under my belt. And so I've learned a lot, but it doesn't mean I don't have feelings. It doesn't mean that blocks don't show up for me. And it, you get through one layer of your life with MS and then you move on to the next, right? Like an onion peeling itself off. The fact is, some of this stuff, this work is really hard to do on your own. And so when you can be part of a safe community of women that live with MS that are doing this together and actually have a buddy, right? An accountability buddy. Now, this person is just there to support you in taking those actions each week to move towards whatever that goal is that you have, that small goal that you've set for yourself. And that's what the weTHRIVE membership is about. And you can find out more information because I'm going to be sharing it with you by putting a link below once I make this video live in my Women Thriving with MS channel. So you'll have that information. This membership is what we call a founding membership, meaning that you, if you sign up along with the other women that have already signed up, you become the first group of women that will be going through this program, which means the awesome thing is it means that you're only going to be paying $18 a month because you will be a founding member and you will be a part of creating the structure within the weTHRIVE membership, not the structure. I got that set up actually, but the experience that you have, because your input matters, right? As women live with MS. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I'll probably pop in and do another live tomorrow, so stay tuned. But know that Thursday, which is this week, on the 20th, I'm just looking at my calendar, on the 29th, which is only in 2 days, 10 o'clock Eastern time is when the membership gets cut off. So if you are interested, check that link below and sign up because after Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I won't be taking in any new members at this point in time. Okay, so if you want to be a founding member, you want to get the great price, you want to have the experience, you want to be part of a community of women that are focused on living life better with MS, then come join us. We would love to have you. I'm Jenda Tracy, and I will see you soon. If you haven't already, like, share, comment, thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up from someone, and thank you for those of you that are watching live. It means the world to me, and have a great day. Bye.